Gentlemen, thank you. Here's a look at Pete Prisco's power rankings last week. Top 10 saw some big risers in the Steelers and Saints, while the Bills and Packers dropped with opening week losses. Seattle also a big mover after their opening week win at the Colts. So that was week 2. Let's go to week 3 now. Things have changed as we take a sneak peek at Prisco's top 10. Raiders big risers this week after beating the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Steelers and Saints enjoyed their time in the top 10. Now it's see ya, as Pete would say. The only team to fall into the top 10, Kansas City, down 3 spots to 5 after losing to Baltimore Sunday night. It is Tuesday during the NFL season, and that means we get Pete Prisco, AMHQ, to go over that list. Let's start with the Packers, Pete. The late game allowed you some time to finality here with number 7 in the power rankings. How'd you arrive here?
Well, I think, week 1 was a really bad performance for them. When you watch that game on tape, they were lifeless. And for whatever reason, it's almost like they thought they would just show up and beat the Saints. And they played poorly in all aspects of the game. You knew they would bounce back. That's who Aaron Rodgers is. That's who that offense is. They're explosive. They're dynamic. And Aaron Jones was fantastic on Monday night. I do still have some concerns about the defense, but like JJ mentioned, one of the things that you noticed last night was Eric Stokes got into the game, and it became a different defense when he went in the corner in place of Kevin King. I said it on the pregame show last night. Kevin King is a major liability. They have to get him off the field. Well, it looks like he's off the field. Now they have 2 fast, athletic corners.
It'll be 7 versus 2 Sunday Night Football. What do you think about Green Bay and San Francisco?
Well, I mean, history isn't on the side of the Packers there. Last couple of times they've had issues when they've run on them. And this is a team we saw on Monday night that got run on a little bit, and early in the game particularly. They have to be better against the run. Remember in the championship game a couple years ago, the 49ers ran for over 200 yards, did whatever the heck they wanted to against them. So they got to be better against the run if they're going to win that game. It's a tough turnaround after playing on a Monday night. So that's a real challenge for Aaron Rodgers and gang.
A rematch of the 2019 NFC title game. And taking a look at that top 10, Pete, the NFC West continuing to dominate not only your top 10, but now your top 4. 3 of your 4 are in that division. San Francisco and the Rams, of course, tied for best odds at Caesars Sportsbook. What do you think about the division so far?
Boy, it's brutal. And we're going to know a lot more about the division after this week. You mentioned that game against the 49ers and against the Packers for the 49ers, and then you also have the Rams and Bucs. So we're going to know how good they are. If those two can win those games, then they're clearly the kings of the league right now, and they are right now going into the weekend because top to bottom, it's a fantastic division. I don't have Seattle in that top 10. Seattle was within a whisker of being 2-0, and they would have been. You would have had all 4 teams in there. So it's a brutal division. It's going to be tough to navigate it throughout the season. But the winner of that division will be ready for the playoffs, I can tell you that.
Those teams we know are good. The jury's still out, Pete, and maybe the Panthers and the Broncos. Carolina more surprising, I think, so far for the first 2 games. You have them at 11 and 12 respectively. What would it take for these 2 teams to get into your top 10?
Well, I think they're both going to be 3-0 after the weekend, so there's a real opportunity to do so. I think the Carolina Panthers will beat the Texans. They'll start Davis Mills. That's going to be a tough challenge against what's a really good defense. And Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator, has really done a nice job changing the way he plays. They're aggressive. They attack. They have a ton of athletic young players on that defense that are starting to show up, Brian Burns being one of them, Derek Brown on the interior, Jeremy Chin. They're good players, and they're getting better and more confident. So I think they beat the Texans this week and move up. And then you got the Broncos play the Jets at home. It's their home opener. I think that place will be jumping. They're really good on defense. It's going to be another challenge for Zach Wilson. So I would think those 2 teams will meander their way up into the top 10 after this weekend.
All right, we'll see the Panthers first, of course, on Thursday Night Football. And then way at the bottom, your bottom feeders, Pete, Jets, Jaguars in a race, I guess, to be last. You have Lions, Jets, and Jags down there at the bottom. How do you evaluate the worst teams in the NFL right now?
Well, I think when you look at the Jets and the Jaguars, it's rookie quarterbacks playing with not talented supporting cast, and that's always a problem. The Jaguars don't run on the outside. They're slow. They don't get open. They don't win, and the quarterback kind of forces the ball at times rather than taking the check down, which is why Trevor Lawrence has struggled. Offensively, they need to run the ball more. Same holds true for Zach Wilson. Now, he was a victim of the Bill Belichick treatment on Sunday. He kills rookie quarterbacks, and Wilson had a real problem with all the disguises and looks in the secondary, but he doesn't have a great supporting cast either, particularly up front. with Mekhi Becton out. So they're going to struggle. There's growing pains. I wouldn't be shocked to see those teams be lucky to get the 2 wins each, if that. That's how bad they are right now.
Check out the entire list of Prisco's power rankings on CBSSports.com. Pete, certainly appreciate it as always, our senior NFL writer joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Want to let you know that the All Things Covered podcast, Brian McFadden, our 2-time Super Bowl champ and NFL/college analyst, with Patrick Peterson, an exciting game that didn't go their way in the desert against Arizona. But on the latest pod is Anquan Bolden on Larry Fitzgerald's future, Cardinals turnaround, and the Ravens playoff runs. Also talking about the Florida State days, which right now the days looking a little gloomy.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.